everyone, welcome back to Middleburgh. We are back. I have to say, really pleased that you all enjoyed the first episode so much. Nice to see such a great response to it. So I thought we'd come back pretty quickly and have another episode. So we are back. If you remember in the last episode, we combined our barley, which is now in here. We've taken a lot of it down to be rolled, and we brought some back. And we're making a little bit of moonshine there in the woods. Hopefully to give ourselves a little bit of a kickstart with our income. But there is a lot more to do. Now, we have got straw on the field, which we need to bring back. We're going to start pulling together all the prerequisites we need for feed for the cattle. So, as well as silage. So we've got a bit of grass work to do. That straw is going to come in handy. So with that, we're probably going to need to get the baler out. Now, I have switched the trailer. If you remember, we had the notch trailer. But we've switched to Rooster Modding's Bale trailer here, which has got a little bit of an autoload device on it. So it should make it a little bit easier to load and unload things. So we're just going to jump in, get started with that and see how we get on. I think we'll take the John Deere today, shall we? Just because we used the Allis in the last episode. Now, we do have the cultivator on there as well, which we probably need to get out relatively soon too. What we don't want is the weeds that we've got in our soybean fields getting any bigger and we having to spray them because we don't have a sprayer yet. Now, before I go too far with the Baler, I've just had a bit of a thought. Now, if you remember, in fact, let's drive down there and have a look at it. If you remember in the last episode, the swath that came off the combine didn't kind of fill me with confidence. It's a bit wide and quite close together, and I know the pickup on those balers isn't particularly wide, so I was wondering if I bought a windrower that we should maybe pool some of these rows together. If you see what we've got here, they're quite narrow, and we could probably be a little bit more efficient by running a windrower around these before we jump in and get the baler onto them. So what I will do, we've got the long frame 4840 here, which would probably be serious overkill for the windrower. What I'll do is I'll run back. We haven't got a windrower, so we're going to purchase one of those, but we'll pop that on the Allis and then we'll get the baler set up with the John Deere here. So in terms of windrowers, we've got an old-fashioned, it's a Rostel mash, so maybe not particularly American. It's probably the oldest one we've got in terms of traditional rake, so we will buy that very cheap as well, $1,300. So from my perspective, good cost-effective way of doing it, and we will use this a lot. I can see us using this a lot for grass and hay work, as well as the straw, so a worthwhile investment. So let's jump in the Allis and take this for a whirl. Right, all hooked up. Let's run down to the field. I think this is quite wide, so I'm really hoping we can get 2 rows together with this. Let's see how we go. We'll do the up and downs first, and then we'll run a nice headland around the whole field.
Let me know, do you feel me too? Let it show, babe, I'm into you. We've been on and off, in and out, up and down, too many times.
Okay, the rake seems to be working well. It's pulling things into some semblance of order. It has gone a slightly different angle on the field. Our paid worker there is decided to go on a funny route, but definitely I think neater rows and more space between them, so that's definitely going to help us when it comes to the baler. So while he finishes off the field with that, we will go and get the baler and we'll go and get started. So this is the first time I have used this trailer, so I am going to be interested to see how well it goes. It looks good from the images I've seen. And I know Rooster does a really good job with his mods. So I'm excited to see what we can do with it. Very similar actually to a setup we used to have on our farm when I was growing up. So let's see how it goes. Now we have set him to do the headland last on this, so I don't want to get in his way too much. And I don't want to start my rows too late either, because I don't want to miss stuff. But if we run up to the top here, I'm sure we'll be able to get out of his way and slow down if we need to. So there we go. Let's just put the HUD up so I can see what I'm doing. Let's unfold the baler. There we go. And let's switch to here. Pull up the working mode. So if you see at the moment it's in a transporting position. If we press B to operating position, we should now, he says, as he switches back to the baler, to power up and lower it down. We should get, when our first bale comes out, this launching. I've got the bale launcher on actually, maybe I've got the wrong setting on the baler, but we'll soon find out. There's our first bale about to arrive. That didn't work, did it? So there we go, it's transporting position it should be in, not operating position. So we worked it out. It's all good. Here we go then. Running down the hill. We've lost a bale there. I think that's the one that we put on manually at the start. So let's see if we put it back on now, if it'll grab it and auto-load it into place. It did. Good. Now I do wonder if actually having the launcher on isn't the right thing to be doing here. I wonder if I'd been better off just having it come out of the baler. I'm sure there's a couple of other options on this, so I may change that. I might just go and get the toolbox and tweak that and see if it works better without. I mean, it doesn't look. It doesn't. I mean, it still works. It looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Oh, it doesn't look too bad now. There's a few more bales on. Looks okay. So there we go. Drop to hay rack. That looks a little bit more like the one we want. Drop to ground we don't want. Drop to hay rack. Definitely the better solution. There we go. Configuration changed. Excellent. Right. Let's fire things up. Let's hitch everything up. It's in transporting position. Power up. Lower down. Let's see if this looks a little bit less odd, shall we? Right, here we go. They're on the sled now. They are moving about a bit. Oh my goodness. Explosions everywhere, but it is picking them up. Okay, that was a failed experiment, but at least you guys know if you want to use this baler, which is the best option. Probably the launcher. Do you know what I'm actually more impressed with? Is that my little mobile workshop is staying put, sitting on the baler there. Yeah, do you know what? Let's switch this back. We tried, but it didn't quite work. Back to the bale thrower. Hook everything back up. Let's not forget our toolbox as well. Away we go. Okay, looks like the Allis has finished down at the bottom as well, so we've got a good headland now. In fact, I might run the headland next. So we've got some nice turning areas to work with.
Show me what you got. the way that it is.
Okay, I think we've just hit the max on the bale trailer, as I've just proved by firing those two just into mid-air. So let's stop. What we'll do is put the HUD up and switch over to the trailer. Just unhitch it for a second. I'm not concerned about those two I've dropped. We can very easily throw them back on when we come back. But what I'll do is I'll probably grab the Allis, run this load back to the yard, and then bring the trailer straight back. But look at that, really nicely stacked. That'll come in very handy when we get some cows. I think it's better. I don't have anywhere to store loose straw at the moment, so having them stacked that we can drop into a barn is much more useful for us at the moment. We'll drop these, I think, in the shed that we've been storing this baler in. That's as good a place as any at the moment. Now, I'm going to have an attempt here to unload these, but with a dual axle trailer, you know how much fun that can be. So we move to operating position, we slide them over with the mouse like so, drop them down to the floor. Now I should be able to press Y twice. You have to press Y twice. So the option to abort there, which is quite nice. But there you go. Bales in shed. Now if I'm clever with my reverse, because I tried to get it as straight as I could before I went in, I'm not going to concertina up this trailer too much. There we go. Right, back to the field. Let's get another load on. But here we are. Now, if I time this well, I'll just skip past these two bales that fell on the floor. And the pickup will grab them, as it has done. Move the Allis out of the way. Reverse the John Deere back up to the hitch. Sliding a bit there, but we've got it. Power things up. And away we go. Right, we're running nicely now. It's actually quite difficult to film montage content for this because there's so much going on. You have to keep your baler straight. But we will push on. There's only a few more rows left actually. It's not taken us too long to get through this. So we'll push on and we will see when we're done. Right, last couple of passes here. We already got 153 bales in the shed. We have got 41 on the trailer at the moment. So, not bad. Not a million miles away from 200 bales by the time we've done this last pass here. But it's quite an enjoyable way of doing bales, I have to say. Preloading them is always good fun. I'm not sure I'd fancy stacking these small bales by hand, or even with a front loader or something. That would be pretty tedious. But so this trailer is an absolute winner for it. Really nicely done. And the unload mechanism and everything really nicely done as well. Nice and slick. So I'm loving this. And look, that toolbox is still there, rattling away, but it's not fallen off. Not yet anyway. But there we go, last row just finishing off here. There are a few spots around the field, but nothing huge that's going to impact. 46 bales and 30% left for another bale, and there's definitely not 30% left in bits on the field. So I think we'll call that as it is there. So we'll reverse this back up a little bit, shut it down, raise the pickup, and we'll get this back to the farm. And we'll bring the Allis back as well. Then, what we're going to do next, I think, is take that self-propelled mower from Sluicious Modding up to our grass fields, because we also need hay. We also need grass for silage. Now I think we'll bale the hay, obviously, and pop it in the shed with the straw, but the grass is going to need picking up. And we've got the perfect machine for that in the shed just in front of you. Right, let's just lift the toolbox off. And I think we'll pop it on the back of the trailer, actually. It's probably the most sensible place to put it. Okay, so we have the pain and the joy of Autoload all in one go there. I rolled up too close to the other stack, and I had it in the wrong setting. So, we've got a little bit of a... I wouldn't call it a problem on our hands, but we have a bit of a mess on our hands that we need to tidy up a bit, don't we? So, let's see what we can pick up here. Just using the Autoload again. Shouldn't be too difficult. But it does cause me a bit of a predicament in terms of my unload, because every time I get close to try and unload, I start causing issues with the other stack. So we might just have to be a little bit smart about what we do and how we do it. So I've actually switched over to the Allis here, because what I was finding was that I couldn't unload the bales. There might be an issue with that John Deere, but there we go. That's what we wanted to do last time. It's going to be fun when we try it with the hay bales as well. But we are done. Job is done. Let's reverse this out, park it up, and go and get the mower, finally. Let us give this a little spin. It does look good, this. Now, I wouldn't call these fields at the top of the map. They are just open spaces, but we'll give this a whirl and see how it goes. I don't think I'll be able to use courseplay up there, but maybe. We shall see. Actually quite a long little path up to it, so we'll just see you up there, I think. And we're still going. We've got more fields there on the left-hand side. This could well be a little bit of an auto drive setup that is required for doing this. But we'll see how we go for now. We should appear out into the opening in just a little minute. And here we are. Lovely open space. I tell you, there's some merit in having a shed up here, actually, isn't there? Something to consider in the future when we have a little bit more money. Now, as you can see on the map here, not defined fields at all. Also, the way they are set up, you'll see that we cut off this little edge here, so we don't have the full extent of the second one. It is a slightly smaller one, but we don't have the extent of that now. I am going to cut this big one first and see how we get on with it. As our swath, we'll just go around the outside with this. It may be prudent in the future to maybe plough the edge of this or do something around the edge of this to identify it as a space, and then maybe we can use courseplay on it. Let's get round this as quickly as we can, and then we will probably jump over into the next one. Get that one done as well. Now, one thing I am missing is an appropriate tedder to turn the hay. Everything I've seen so far is very modern. I have to have a bit of a dig around, see if I can find an old-fashioned tedder. There is a small one in the mod hub at the moment, 2.7 metre lizard one. 2.7 metre. It's going to take a bit of a while to do, so I'd maybe like something a little bit bigger. But loving this, by the way. Here we go, first headland done then. No GPS as well, so we're going to have to just keep ourselves quite accurate here. Right, there we go. I am sorry. Who needs GPS? I am very, very pleased with my straight rows there. Look at that. Even if I do say so myself, there's some pretty straight rows. Very pleased. Okay, that's that done. I am not going to do the second field just now. Very conscious that I'm running out of time for this vid. So what I might do is park this up. I definitely think in future we're going to plough this and replant it with grass, just to give ourselves that border and that edge so that we can use some automated stuff on it in the future. But for now, I'm just going to do it as it is, and actually it was quite good fun driving that manually. As you can see with the second one, the bowl gets quite steep over there, but hopefully that bit is not part of our land, and we can utilise the flatter space as much as possible. But for now, we'll leave that there. We'll head back to the farm. I just want to check how the moonshine's doing. There we go. We have a couple of 1,000 litres sitting there already, which is pretty cool. Looks like we've got another one on the way, and a lot of barley and water still to go. So this is going to be a nice little earner indeed. Now, I do believe as well we've got quite a lot of rolled barley back at the mill as well, so that's definitely a job to do soon as well. Well, there we go, folks. A little bit of bale work there, and a little bit of grass mowing. We've obviously got to pick that grass up, get it into the fermenting silo sooner rather than later, and then we've got to get the other field mowed, get it turned, get that hay into the shed over there as well. Weather-wise, I think we're okay for today, but it's looking wet relatively soon, so we need to push on and make sure we get through this stuff as quickly as we can. Looking forward to giving this a spin in the next episode for sure. Looks great, doesn't it? But for now, from me, from Middleburgh, thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you all again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.